Alright, hey y'all, it's Pizza Hulk, and I'm here in Fallout 4 to sort of just give a generalized update on the state of the game and uh, just how sad it's gotten. So, uh, I'm a big fan of settlement building. I'm a big fan of creating my own economy and setting up the Commonwealth with the settlements to really set me up for success in the game. To give me basically, an infinite amount of caps, the ability to purchase any kind of gear that I want, mats, and anything else along the way, and then of course to build cool stuff. Uh, you know, there's nothing wrong with the base game. There's nothing wrong with building in the base game. I'm actually pretty good at it. It's just not as fun for me because I like the mods, and particularly the mods that let me place things statically and give me all kinds of things to put down. So, if I want to create a little tableau or montage or whatever you want to call it, I like to do that. And I want to be able to put a beer bottle down and have it stay where it is, or a cram, or a typewriter, or whatever else I put down. Unfortunately, you just really can't do that on the Sony PlayStation 4 anymore. I don't know how it's working for PlayStation 5, but I doubt it's working any much better because, frankly, there's just no support anymore. Any mods, I used to play this game with 80 plus mods, up to 100, which we are allowed here on PlayStation, and I would run into issues, and then it would seem like after hours and hours and hours and hours of building and making these massive places and putting all this stuff in the game that doesn't belong and doing all this crazy stuff, yeah, the game would break. But now I can't really hardly do anything. And I feel like modded at best, maybe I could have 3 to 5 mods on, and hopefully they're the ones that would make it at least somewhat enjoyable for me to just focus on the building in a playthrough. Unfortunately, though, these mods are no longer supported. Uh, there's no real updates to your mods. Anything gets changed or diversified, or they add a Creation Club skin, or they do something else, and you're just screwed. Because what it used to be is that your modders were big into it. They were having fun. You had some big names and some big people, and people that are even getting paid now to make mods for things like Skyrim, and, well, mostly Skyrim. They don't give a shit about this game. But since they made it so difficult, I don't even know why they allowed mods. They just sort of never allowed mods on PlayStation 4. Because to a player like me, you just wrecked it. You just ruined it. So, without any support, without mods getting updated, whether it's because, they've retextured something, or they've thrown in a skin on the Creation Club that doesn't necessarily might not necessarily work with some of the mods that you have, and these modders aren't going back to change what they need to change with any of that stuff. And just the fact that so many in the community just don't care anymore, because it doesn't really matter to mod for PlayStation, because again, there's no support, there's no real impetus, there's no real you know drive for anybody to do anything. And so what we end up with is random folks throwing mods out on occasion who either, I mean, God bless them, but they don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to integrate. They don't know how to deal with anything that's new. If there's an orange Pip-Boy and they've changed something with the Pip-Boy, then that orange Pip-Boy is going to wreck the game. So Sony and Bethesda and Microsoft have basically decided that if you want to play this game on anything other than an Xbox or your PC, you're dumb and you don't deserve what everyone else gets. Now, I've stated, and I will always state, and it seems like even Microsoft has come to the understanding here recently, that exclusive console games is limiting ignorant and not making as much money. What? Yes, Microsoft has recently announced that they are going to try to move away from console specific games, which makes sense, which has always made sense, and is anything different has always seemed dumb to me. You know, should Mario stay on Nintendo? Absolutely. But that's because it's old. And that's just what they did. And they're tied to that label. But so many games just don't need to do this anymore. There's just really no intelligence behind it. Like, really? Well, it's like saying, all right, I got a product, and here's 30 million people that I can sell to if I use just this platform. Now, out of those 30 million people, only 7 million people really want to buy the game that we're putting out. They play that kind of game. It's their kind of game. That's what they're interested in. And that's what they're going to buy. You know, something like this. A survival FPS, whatever the hell, role-playing game, whatever you want to call this. And to limit yourself to just one medium just seems like limiting yourself from money. It doesn't make much sense. I'm not opposed to the idea of profit. Obviously, that's what these games and companies need to continue forward, to improve, to continue to make new games. So that part isn't really too upsetting. It's just the fact that it doesn't really make sense because, let's say I release this game on Xbox and I get my 7 million. Well, then if I release it on PlayStation 4, then there's 14 million. And let's add another 7 million from the PC. So now we're up to 21 million. And that makes a lot of sense. Not every game needs to be across 3 platforms. I understand that. And it's not always going to happen that way. But generally speaking, if you got the kind of clout that Bethesda used to have, welcome to the Microsoft Corporation, fools. You're one of them. And now you're just part of Microsoft. And even Microsoft has begun to realize that this is a dumb thing. And I think they realized it when they announced Starfield as a Microsoft only, or I'm sorry, Xbox only kind of title, or PC Xbox title. Because I said what most PlayStation players would say in that kind of situation, and well, that's a shame. I guess I'll never play that game. And I won't. Ever. In fact, if they bring it to PlayStation 4 eventually, I still won't play it. Because you made it an exclusive for Xbox. And that's not, I just don't, I don't play those games, man. I don't. And even when I have, it's just because I played something similar. So if you can't play Call of Duty, but you can play Battlefield, or if you can play Battlefield, but you can't play Call of Duty, or you can play this, or you can play that, whatever. I don't care. I don't care if it's the game I've been waiting for my entire life. If they put it out on Xbox, I'm not playing it. I'm not going to go buy an Xbox to play one game. I'm not going to go buy a PC because I can't afford a PC. This is why I play on my old PlayStation 4, because I still can't afford a PlayStation 5. Why would I buy a second console? I have an Xbox. I do. And it is the original. It is the Xbox. And why do I still have an Xbox? Because there's one game. One game that I want to play on there. And that is Sid Meier's Pirate's Gold. And that's the only reason I own an Xbox. And that's the only reason I ever bring it out and hook the cords up, the old SD cables, and do all that mess every occasion, because I love that game. And where did I learn to love that game? I learned to love that game on a PC. And if I ever get a PC and I can play the original Pirate's Gold, I can tell you one thing real quick. I don't need that Xbox anymore. And I think Microsoft and I think Bethesda have just left us all in the dirt. So while they're still putting out some cool mods on occasion for Fallout and whatever on Skyrim and all the different things on Xbox, that's great. Good for you. I'm glad you get to do some real cool stuff that I can't. But let me tell you what I'm not going to do ever, and let's go buy an Xbox so I can play it like I want to. Do I miss it? Am I sad? Did I have a blast? I sure did. And you know what? You can go look up those videos. Some of them are kind of old school, years old, and a little bit shady, filth laden, expletive laden, things. But it is what it is. There's some great building things to see in there and some cool stuff that I did. But in this, there's just not much left for me to do. Because we'll see if we can do a save real quick. I haven't done a thing. Nothing. So I know you can't see this, but I'm going to give it a shot. And we'll see what it says. So it actually let me save there, which is fine, but eventually it's not going to let me save. It's going to tell me that I don't have enough memory to save. That's what happens when they don't update these mods. That's what happens to me. So after putting on my big list of mods and then trying to get a game started by continually reducing down the mods that I have put on, not really knowing which ones are going to make a difference, I finally got into the game and started building and playing. But I eventually got to the point where I wanted to go save, and it says, you have 0 memory left. I have giga memory left, okay? This is completely not true. Now, what I can do, of course, is build and go for hours and hours. Sorry, I have the COVID. Yeah, that's another reason I haven't been broadcasting lately, but besides the point. And so you're left with this, I can do a bunch of stuff for however many hours, but then I can't really build on top of that because there's going to be a point where I can no longer save. It's going to say you have 0 memory left. And I just feel like they're really screwing this up. They're really screwing this up. And I would really like to know numbers about PlayStation 4 Fallout 4 players falling off and Xbox Fallout 4 players falling off. I would bet the retention rate on Xbox is much higher because they have, well, first they can have more mods. They get better mods. They can have textures. They can have dialogue. They can literally add. They can make this a brand new game if they wanted to. I would imagine that the British version, there's an England, Fallout England now, that's based on this, off of this. There's no way I can play that on. That's not available on PlayStation 4. I guarantee it. I haven't seen it in the mods, but if I wanted to do that in Xbox, I'm sure it would be fine, and it would look great because I've seen some of the videos, and man, what an amazing thing. But Sony, in its infinite wisdom, decided to limit all that crap because blah, Xbox, and we must all suffer. This is a poor decision, in my opinion. And it's never really made much sense to me. Now I can fly. So, take that into consideration. I hate to say this, but I would say anyone playing Fallout 4 on PlayStation 4, maybe it's time to hang it up. Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about the Creation Club. Now, the Creation Club gives you a bunch of stuff that you can use in the base game. It doesn't consider it cheating for some reason. Well, it's because you paid for it, right? Your $3 here, your $2 here, your $8 here. You know, it all adds up, and so they like to make that money. But if you've been to the Creation Club recently, you realize there's nothing new. And there hasn't been anything new, and there's not gonna be anything new. Oh, don't worry, they'll still put something on sale. Or toss you something for free on occasion, right? Yay, I can get that chrome skin for my power armor. It's all dumb and nothing new. Nothing new's coming out. Nothing new at all. Because they all gave up on it because they know it's crap. And I don't know if the Creation Club has a thing going on in Xbox. I would imagine it's pretty low end because you have all the great mods that actually work and that you can use. Now, could I have probably stuck something in the wrong order in my load order? Could be. I've taken things out, I've moved things around, I've done all kinds of stuff. But in the end, it's just because it's Sony, and it's just because it's Bethesda, and it's just because it's Microsoft, and it's just because of the petty bullshit that the people that actually end up losing out are the people that buy the games. I would like to point out that the community has obviously given itself a pass on Saints Row, the new Saints Row, if we could call it Saints Row. I've had a lot of looks at it. It doesn't look interesting to me. It doesn't look that fun to me. It doesn't look funny to me. And it seems like the spirit of what was once that game has been completely beaten out of it and turned into mashed potatoes. What's wrong with mashed potatoes? Everybody loves mashed potatoes. Yeah, they do. But let's face it. If you've ever had really good mashed potatoes, you know that most things are subpar. And that's what you learn pretty quickly when you have something good, right? It's like growing up on mom's spaghetti. There's nothing wrong with mom's spaghetti. It's a great thing. And there's going to be a time in your life where that's all you really want. That simple mom's spaghetti, you know? It's just some beef and some sauce, some oregano and some noodles. You know, it's really not much to it. But then one day, you go to an authentic Italiano restaurante, right? And you get some ragu. And you're like, what is this? What? Where was this my whole life? What was I eating? Mom tricked me! There's nothing wrong with that. You know, that's just how life works. Someone can make it better. Someone does it better. Sometimes what you thought was authentic was really just the bastardized version of what someone could make with their income, their cooking skill, or just general knowledge, right? There's nothing wrong with it. It was satisfactory and it was even delicious when you were 9. But when you're 39 and you ate that pasta, that homemade, delicious, fresh pasta that didn't come from a sad cardboard box. And when you have tomato sauce that someone crushed plum tomatoes with their bare hands, and fresh oregano, and fresh mozzarella, buffalo mozzarella, it's gonna blow your mind. Hey buddy, I see you got off the wall there. Congratulations. So really what I'm left with is just rocking and rolling until the game either blows up and dies, blue screen or whatever, or just going along, building, and then basically wherever my last save that it let me save was is where it's at. So 3 minutes, 30 minutes, 3 hours, 3 days. There's just no guarantee anymore. I've tried replacing old mods with newer mods, right? Because like I said, there's no support. Nobody's going back and updating and fixing their old mods anymore, you know. I have version 3.1 from 4 years ago. Well, it's changed since 4 years ago. And none of that stuff's going to work anymore, and nobody's going to go and update it, and it's just we're done, you know. So, like I said, I could probably pare it down to 3 or 4 mods. That would let me do somewhat of what I would like to do. Or play base game and build what I can and show off in that, but not really have the role-playing fun that I like to have when I build with mods. And I really am disappointed and depressed because I gotta be honest, I really wanted to do this series. And I had done it just so wrong in the past. You know, instead of just there's a couple good videos I have of some tours that are generally decent, but a lot of times they devolved into me ranting on various things. Back in my heavy drinking days, that didn't help either, and they're just not the best videos. You know, there's cool stuff if you want to watch them with the volume off. I certainly would say you'd see some neat stuff, and some good building, but in the truest sense of what I really want to do, rebuild the Commonwealth, you know, turn 20 to 30 settlements plus into a new world, it's just not going to happen. I can't do that anymore. Even though I know there's certain places where it kind of works. You know, you can do a lot with Spectacle Island for some reason. It never seems to break. It doesn't really seem to affect the rest of the game, and I never really have problems saving out there. That's just one place. And it makes it hard to build the story that I really want to build. And so for me, a game that I've played so many times is basically going to be down to a few more playthroughs, just to get a few trophies and things that are left that I want. You know, I have like around a 90% trophy rating, whatever, on. There's dumb shit I just don't care about. Like, I don't really care about sticking up grenade, pickpocketing a grenade into somebody else's pocket or something. That's an achievement. Whoop-de friggin' do. Not at the top of the list of anything that I really care about. But if I wanted to 100 this game, I'm at least somewhat close. There are some things, though, that I do feel a little bad about never completing. And one of those is the railroad, which I often call the underground, because the Underground Railroad. Anyway, if you watch any of my old videos, you might hear me saying underground. Pardon me for just one moment. I have the COVID, and now I have to cough like an insane person, so I will just save you from some of that. So, as far as free building, having a blast with my mods, being able to fly and do whatever I want, and just really rock this anyway, well, those days seem to be gone. And I don't know if you can tell from my tone. But I'm a little bit sad. So what I think I'm going to do is go back to, I'm going to turn off all my mods and go back to the unmodded playthrough that I had going on where I was building my economy. And that's a good video, by the way. That's that myself. That myself. It doesn't make any sense. I think personally that that is a really good series if you'd like to check out a way to really build your wealth and create your own kind of economy aside from Diamond City, Good Neighbor, etc. So if you want to know how to dominate the Commonwealth, I would absolutely recommend my videos on that. As far as rebuilding the Commonwealth, I just think it's a lost cause. I might come back here at some point and just do like, 3 to 6 hours straight just building crap. And maybe I can at least get an idea out there of what I was hoping to accomplish. But honestly, to me, it just seems like a waste because I can't save. So what's up, Pizza? What you're trying to say? I'm trying to say if you play Bethesda games on PlayStation 4, stop. If you've ever wondered on your PlayStation 4 whether you should play Fallout 4, don't. Don't buy it. Do not buy this game. And especially don't play Fallout 76. Do not encourage this type of behavior on Sony or PlayStation. I think anyone who plays any Bethesda game, and this goes for Skyrim too, stop. Stop broadcasting it. Stop YouTubing it. Don't monetize it. Find another game. Go build in Green Hell. Go build in Conan Exiles. Go build in Ark. Go build in something else. Go do something else. Just don't. Just don't. Do not support Bethesda or Microsoft. Now, I'm giving myself a little bit of a break because Microsoft's saying recently that they don't think that exclusive games are the way of the future. I would agree. Why limiting your income seems to be, they think, a smart choice, or that people, a 14-year-old will get a console based on a video game. Rich people will get consoles based on a video game. Your average spender, your bulk of what you make your money off of, is just never going to be that person. We're just not. We're not those people. We don't, even though I have the expendable income to go buy a PlayStation 5 or a PC and a new Xbox S, I don't know what it's called. Should I get, everything? Should I get a Switch 2? Should I have it like what do you want from me? How much money should I give? Why can't I just get a system and dedicate myself to it anymore? Other than a PC. And you know what? You know why? Again, besides, and I know it's all coming down. Hey man, you can get a decent game setup between $800 and $1,000 right now, right? And some of you are listening and going, bro, my shit's 13 grand, bro. I mean, good for you. But 800 to me, there's 6 of us in this family. If you don't think I can't think of other things to spend money on, you're stupid. And especially as a man, father, spending that kind of money on just my friggin' few hours of freedom on occasion? No, no. Mm-mm. You're dumb. You're dumb. And let's not mention so many poor people love to play video games. Why? Well, we don't have a lot of options, do we? I can save up $70 for a game and spend 300, 400, 800 hours on it, man. And that's great. That is fantastic. What an amazing thing for a poor person to have, right? But 4 grand, 5 grand for a decent computer setup, $600 for this console, $800 for this console, 300 for this one, $70 game, $70 game, $70 game that comes out incomplete. It's just not worth it anymore. It's not. And the fact that in my opinion, Bethesda has completely abandoned, 50% of their revenue, their gaming community. Well, I guess it's maybe not quite 50%. We'll give them each like a third, right? A third is huge. And it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like I said, Starfield is never going to be a game I'm ever going to play. Even if they decide later on to port it over to PlayStation 4, no. I will not play that game. I don't care how cool it looks. I don't care if there's 100 worlds. I don't care if it's everything that I've ever wanted from a Bethesda game. I will never play it because they released it for Xbox exclusively. I won't. I just won't. And listen to me. If I was on Xbox, I promise you, I'd probably I'd probably play it. Okay. But still, I'd be pissed. But it's the same thing. I don't play Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man. I love the mechanics. I love the game. Who doesn't want to swing through the city? I don't play that game because it's Sony only. And like I said, I have slight hope that Microsoft said that they weren't seeing that as the way of the future. It doesn't change what's going on now. And I can tell you that my Xbox friends can have so much fun in this game. They can build so many things. They can add storylines. They have actors. They have unique skins. They have unique dialogue. They have turned this game into what we all really, really want. This incredibly moddable game that we can turn into pretty much anything that we want. And that's kind of what it used to be on PlayStation, but it's not anymore. These mods don't get updated. And they make just enough changes here and there to kill that off on purpose. On purpose. They do not want Sony players to be able to mod. Sony doesn't want you to really be able to mod. I personally would prefer it if they just got rid of mods for the PlayStation 4 as far as Skyrim and Fallout 4 are concerned. It's just a huge disappointment. They generally don't work. And the minute they decide to give you a free orange Pip-Boy, or check out our new camo power armor, it doesn't work with any mods that affect the Pip-Boy, that affect the look of the power armor. Everything has to be gone over and recoded and redone, or whatever they do. I don't even know how to make mods, people. But nobody's doing it anymore. And your new mods are made by randos that we're probably not going to be updating, but for a few months into it, and then they just don't give a shit. Sorry, the COVID is getting me. But I saved you a bunch of coughing and hacking. So as far as Pizza Hut rebuilding the Commonwealth, I'd say go watch my old videos. Yo, pizza knows how to build. Pizza knows how to build. Want to see a giant luxury resort? I got one. Want to see a modern subdivision built out into the Commonwealth? Go look at one of Pizza Hut's old videos. You want to see, I think it was 6-story office building converted into a settlement? Go check it out. As far as being able to do those things in the future, all I can do is run like for 4 to 6 hours in a row, and there'll be no other video after that, because I won't be able to save, because it will tell me that I have 0 memory available to save. So I'm going to go back to my unmodded playthrough and finish that up as the railroad, because that is something I've never done, because they're boring and I don't care. But hey, let's get her done. And I do have a lot of cool building in that video. I have a lot of things going on, and I've set up the economy that I really like to try to show people, because I really want people to understand that, you know, there is a way to build your own economy in this game. I'll give you a quick hint. It's called 10 and 6. And the 10 and 6 rule is simply 10 settlements with 6 merchants in each settlement. 6 times 10 is 60. Make your bases that have purified water. I generally try to get between 150 to 200 water in those settlements where you can do that. And you turn your purified water into the basis of your new economy. Now you can spend that and use that in Good Neighbor and Far Harbor and anywhere else you go. But as far as the astounding, amazing builds, as far as like the building of, like I said, rebuilding the Commonwealth, it's just not really an option anymore. So with that, I guess we're done. You know, it's kind of sad. I own a PlayStation 4. Hi, my name is Pizza, and I own a PlayStation 4. Hi, Pizza, we own a PlayStation 4. Yes, we're in a 12-step meeting, folks, because that's what we need to get off of this game. I will broadcast the end, the very end of the railroad playthrough, and then I'm done with Fallout 4. Forever. So if you happen to catch this, thanks for watching. Trying to get people happy today, right? And in the meantime, if you see this at a later time or date, thanks for watching. I hope you guys are having a great day. And as always, be good to each other.